Hi guys, and welcome back to our Sprinter build series. Today we're going to dig into the dash a little bit, and we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to add some USB charging ports on the side of the van. The van comes with some on the driver's side, but it's mainly meant to transfer data to the head unit, so it doesn't have enough charging capability to keep up with most like smartphones and tablets. So we're going to add charge ports over here. The other thing, we're going to add an ignition controlled circuit to go up to the dash to control a dash cam. We've been using them in our other vehicles for quite a few years now and wanted the same in the van. And the other thing that we're going to do is, while we're in here, it's relatively easy to add range to the factory remote control. I think the computer is in the dashboard, so sometimes when you're directly behind the van and you want to unlock the doors with a key fob, sometimes you have to reach around to get it to work. So our friends Dan and Christina at Weekends We Roam, I'll post a link up above. They did a great video that shows how to relocate the antenna for the wireless for the door locks, and we'll be moving that up higher into the dash to add range. So if you want to learn how to do that, keep on watching. We'll start by removing this face panel. So we'll open this door and use a trim tool. Pop it free and unplug this one connector. When you go to remove this face panel, just take out 2 screws from here. This panel, just use a plastic trim tool in here, and the face right here that faces the interior just needs to come back towards you. And then this slides out of place. In the glove box, up and under this insulation, there's this tube, and there's this wire taped to the top of it. Follow Dan and Christina's video. But we're going to relocate this, pull the tape back, and move the antenna over this way. We've untaped the antenna wire from that support bar underneath the dash, and we now having it pop up through here, and we will tape it down. That'll give the antenna more range. So thanks again to Dan and Christina for that tip. Go watch their video, which I'll link above. And now for the USB wiring, I took the easy way and I soldered some wire onto these connectors. You can just push these out of the plastic. So once they go back in, you don't see this ugliness. It looks pretty clean. Little tip when you go to remove this ashtray thing, these upper clips, I just used these trim tools, pushed in on both sides to release those. So that goes through the dash. We'll pop up here, and we're going to do 2 things. It's going to feed our USB port that we're adding here, and it's going to feed another USB port that's going to be hidden down in here, and that's what's going to power the dash cam when the ignition is turned on. Now, one thing I will say is that I pretty much used all Blue Sea components in this van. These things are not cheap. I don't remember what they cost. I think they're $38 each. And the reason for that, the reason they're expensive is because they have circuitry in them to get rid of transient noise. There's going to be a ham radio in the dashboard of this van, and it's not going to be too far away from these USB ports, so I want to make sure that I use something that wouldn't interfere with communication. So that's the reason we're not using $9 USB ports in the dash. Here's what we have as of now. We've got the ignition linked hookup to the cigarette lighter that comes up through the dash and comes up here, which goes into passenger side USB port. I've got 2 wires coming out of those plugs, and they go into our second USB plug. This is going to ride down here. Dash cam will be plugged into it. So we've taken our 2 wires. One of them is the USB that goes up to the dash cam, and the other is the antenna wire. And we just used a combination of the leftover foam tape that came from the support bar down below that was part of the antenna. We use that and some Gorilla tape just to keep it in place. Now we pop the vent back in. And when you go to reinstall this, these have hooks, so you just make sure that your wire is clear. Slide it forward, and then the rest just clicks into place. Now we reinstall the screws in the face panel. And now we can put the bezel back on. Plug back in the switches.